Hello and welcome back to American Truck Simulator. We are continuing our career mode in the International 9900i painted in international orange. Today we have a load of cars heading from San Francisco to Medford, Oregon. This is going to be a night trip because I couldn't find a rest stop anywhere really close to me. I actually ended up having to drive an hour and a half to get from where I was in the last load to here, so yeah. And I have to tell you, I'm super frustrated because there was one rest stop, but it was on the toll road on the opposite side and I couldn't get to it. So after all of that, I decided, you know what, we're just doing a night load.
Use the left lane to stay on the current road.
It is what it is.
Turn left.
I realize that car just ran into us. That's his fault for being a jerk. That's all I have to say about that. Let's get ourselves out of San Francisco and out of California. Because as always, when I come here, I really can't wait to get out. Okay. There's some weird lighting going on. I don't think one of my mods are playing very nice. I might need to turn off some of this stuff. Okay. Not a big fan of driving at night. It's very difficult for me. Even in real life, it's difficult for me. Just because, you know, the older you get, the harder it is to see, and also just I mean, I've always had pretty good night vision, but a lot of times. Well, let me see. How do I put this? I have pretty good night vision, but there is a focus required to driving at night that you don't need during the daytime, and it's kind of exhausting. I think that's kind of what I'm trying to get to. And there's also just the fact that, you know, your circadian rhythm wants you to go to sleep when it's dark outside. So you're sitting in the car and you're driving, and your body's like, oh, it's dark. We need to be going to sleep now. So, and my circadian rhythm is very strong. Once you turn the lights off, and like, I can stay up all night if I can. Well, I don't know. The older I get, the harder it is. But I can generally stay up, you know, as late as I need to if I have lots of bright lights on and everything like that. But as soon as you turn the lights off, my body starts going, all right, it's time to sleep now. And then so you're driving in a vehicle and it's dark inside inside the cab or car or whatever it is that you're in. And it's dark outside, and the only thing you have are these headlights out in front of you, providing the ability to see, and you know, you naturally have this tendency to want to start nodding off. So I've gotten to the point where I just really don't want to, where I really don't like driving at night if I can avoid it. Getting really close to the part where we're moving out of the house here. It's getting kind of exciting. Got a couple more days until that happens. Getting back into our travel trailer, so I'll be towing something for real here pretty soon. But you know, not really that consistently. Until we get to the point where we're able to actually start traveling, we're just going to be sitting in one spot for a long time. Not really sure what to do about that, other than, you know, we need to get the mobile income going. But that's the point of the channel, right? Hopefully it doesn't take too much longer to get to the point where we've grown to where we can afford to start getting on the road. But realistically, I mean, it takes years to grow a YouTube channel, assuming you grow at all, you know? It's just kind of the way it works. So just out of curiosity, let's take a second and look at our information here. It's expected on Monday at 1 p.m. So, yeah, if I tried to rest now, I think the reason this one was expensive is because it was a rush load or whatever. So I was gonna see about possibly resting here, but we don't have time, which is unfortunate. I would have liked to have gotten this. Load done in the daytime, but I guess a night load every once in a while isn't really that big of a deal. Ourselves around the loop here and onto the freeway. requiring a lot of focus to get around this without having something stupid happen. Okay, here we go. Get ourselves over here. Get the cruise control set. And alright, we are off and away. We have 8 hours of in-game time remaining before we're done with this load. Hopefully, this won't take that long to get done. It's right about now that I wish I could do time lapses. Could always put cuts in, but then you guys are going to miss out on the continuity of the journey, so I try not to do that. If you watch my content regularly and you hear me repeating myself on certain topics, you have to keep in mind that the vast majority of my viewers are new viewers at this point. I think that's kind of the case in general for YouTube channels because, you know, you have certain people who find your channel and then they follow it, but YouTube is continually presenting your video in front of new people all the time, trying to entice them to watch your videos. You know, assuming that you have decent engagement. Not everybody gets, you know, small channels, obviously that's not happening very much, and my channel is obviously still very small. But the bigger you get, the wider a net you cast. So I'm pretty sure that for just about every YouTuber, their ratio of returning viewers to new viewers, or whatever you want, whatever the terminology you want to use for that is typically a pretty big difference. So I always have to assume that anybody who's watching these videos is new, is brand new, has no idea, has never seen any of my videos on any of my series, on any of my stuff. I mean, I have over 1,000 videos on the channel by now, you know, I still have to assume that the vast majority of people watching have never seen a video, because there's just so many people out there watching, and there's so many people out there consuming all different kinds of content, and you never know when somebody who doesn't do anything about, like, I have to imagine that there's non-gamers that get my videos put in their feed just because, you know, whatever it is I'm doing is vaguely related to whatever topic it is that they're typically interested in. So, like, obviously, this game is probably going to be put in front of gamers. It's also going to be put in front of simulator enthusiasts. It's also going to get put in... Okay, hold on. I need to focus here for a second because I'm not sure. Okay, so I would like to try to make sure we get through the... Is there a drive-through option? Here we go. That's what we were looking for. I just wanted to make sure we didn't have to stop. I hate having to stop at those stupid gates. So, you know, simulator enthusiasts will probably get videos, will probably get a suggestion for this video. Gaming enthusiasts probably will. And then also trucking enthusiasts, you know, people who drive trucks or watch trucking videos or things like that, you know, it's a good possibility that because this is trucking related, it gets put in front of them as well. So, there's going to be and it's, trust me, if it irritates you, it irritates me having to say the same things over and over and over again. But I always have to try to keep in mind that, you know, as many times, as much as I'd like to assume that everybody who watches my content comes back and watches it again, and all I'm getting is just, you know, returning viewers all the time, that's just not how it works. you gotta
keep right to continue on the current road.
Keep right to continue.
Right.
Okay.
Take the next right.
Okay. Just let me focus here for a second, then we'll get back on subject. A little bit confused as to what's going on. Excuse me. Okay. All right, that was... I always have to really focus on the intersections because even though most of the time it's super simple like that, sometimes the lanes are very weird and they don't go the way you expect them to go. So You have to stop and focus, and I'm not the kind of person who can talk and focus at the same time. I can either focus on talking or I can focus on driving. There's been studies done that show that even having your radio turned up very loud has a direct impact on your ability to focus while driving, which is kind of interesting when you think about that, because even if you're not really listening to it, the fact that there's all that noise in your head while you're trying to drive has a measurable impact on your ability to focus on driving. And I have noticed that
right lane to stay on the current road, then exit right. Exit right.
Okay, again, let me focus on this intersection here so I don't crash or miss a turn or something stupid like that. So we just need to get around this loop here. I need to do 20 around this loop. Almost there.
Keep left.
So, yeah, as I was saying, I have absolutely noticed that when I turn the volume on my when I pretty much drive in silence as it is, even in most of the time that I've ever driven anywhere, it's been in complete silence. I don't like lots of excess noise, and even though I was a musician for is it still most of my life at this point? I don't know. I'd have to sit down and do the math. I was, let's see, I did music in middle school and high school and a year of college. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and a year of college. So that's 7 years in school plus another 11 years in the Marine Corps. So 11 plus 7 is what, 18 years? And I've been out for, I don't know. I'm just going to say like half my life. I'd have to sit down. It's hard to do that while I'm focusing on driving. But, I spent a very large portion of my life doing music and doing loud music because, Marine bands are very loud. And, I think that probably contributes, if I'm thinking about it more, if I'm being retrospective about it, if I'm being introspective about it, it's probably why I like the quiet as much as I do, because I spent so much of my time surrounded by loud noise. You don't typically tend to think of music as noise, but when you're around it all the time and it's loud and it's in your head and it's doing all of that stuff, you really start valuing silence. So I typically tend to drive, I 100% of the time when I'm by myself in a vehicle, I drive in silence because that's just the way I like to drive. Now, I completely lost track of what my train of thought was that entire time. Oh, we were talking about the studies of being able to focus. So I have absolutely noticed that when I'm driving with music versus driving with silence, there is a noticeable reduction in the stress level I feel when driving. And that's because the amount of focus required to, keep everything on the road and keep yourself on the road, keep yourself away from everyone else and all of that kind of craziness is significantly easier to do when your brain isn't having to process all this extra audio in the background. So that's definitely a thing that I've noticed. Studies have supported that, at the very least, turning the volume down makes a massive difference in your ability to focus on driving. So there's your scientific fact. What is going on with my turn signal there? I think my controller might... Oh, you know what? I bet my controller might be dying. I need to make sure I plug it in after this one. I haven't charged my controller in a very long time. So it's entirely possible that we are starting to experience some glitches due to waning battery power. So I generally try to remember to plug it in, but the last 5+ episodes at the very least I haven't plugged it in. We're down to 4.5 hours with 14 minutes at 14 minutes into the video. I'm curious, what's that circle over there? Is that fuel? Well, I mean, there's fuel there, but what's the circle with the... I don't know what that is. I don't know. It was whatever was under all of those fuel icons. I couldn't tell what that was. Hopefully, we'll get out of California very soon, and we'll be able to pick up the pace a little bit. Way station coming up, but hopefully they're going to let us pass. Sweet. So now we can keep on the road. We don't have to slow down for that. 4 hours of driving left. Means we should get there right around 8 in the morning. A sunrise, well, not a sunrise delivery, but a, you know, a nice morning delivery anyway. Oh, really? All right. So what is that? I can't tell what that icon is. I don't know what that icon is. That icon doesn't look familiar to me. What is that? Is that a way is that the way station icon? I don't know. I can't tell what. I don't know what that icon is. Let me know in the comments if you know what that icon is. I don't recognize it at all. So I think we just passed, I think I just remember we just passed through Redding, California, so we should be up towards the very top of the state at this point. Yeah, Redding Airport. So we should be getting pretty close to the top of the state. I know once we get into Oregon, we're only going to be able to bump it up to like 60, but it's better than 55. I'm just saying.
Keep left.
Lots of rest areas around here, though. Redding must be a big truck area, big trucking area. I wouldn't know, but no, yeah, maybe it is maybe it's a scale. Maybe that's a scale icon. I don't know. I am not familiar with that icon, and it's too small for me to kind of like make it out and actually try to see what it is. I suppose I could have brought up the interface version of the map, but it didn't occur to me until just now to do that. You focus so hard on trying to, you know, reduce screen elements as much as possible so that you feel like you're actually in the game and in the truck, and then you know, sometimes it makes you forget the fact that you have other options available to you that you don't ever remember. Yeah, that's no bueno. But at least the sun's starting to come up now, so that's good. Hopefully we'll start being able to see stuff. With our 3 hours and 20 minutes of drive time remaining. Looking forward to getting on the road for real, though. I feel like I've been so close for so long at this point. I actually moved into my travel trailer when I first bought it 3 or 4 years ago. Probably like 3 years ago. I don't remember exactly when I bought the trailer. Well, no, I bought it in it was a 2019 trailer. I think I bought it in 2020 and moved into it. Okay, so I think I moved into it in 2020. I lived in 2020. I lived in it through 2022, I think. Through most of 22, and then I moved in with my wife in 2023. Towards the end of 2022, 2023. I don't remember. The timeline's hard to remember because I know we've been living in this house that we've been in right now for the last year. So into 2023 was this house, and then I was living where she was living for less than a year, but that would have been 2022. So from 2020 to through most of 2022, I was living in my travel trailer. So, you know, a couple years. And the only thing I was really waiting for is just some kind of mobile income. I was looking really hard for a mobile job, but it just, it's never materialized. So we moved here into a place where I literally can't work without some kind of mobile job, and I got tired of sitting around and waiting for one. So I started doing YouTube for like, I don't want to call it full time. I mean, it really was. I was putting in 6+ hours a day on it, but life put me in a position where I was kind of forced to sit down and actually focus on the channel because I had nothing else to do. I couldn't work. I can't work where I am right now. And then, I wasn't able to find a remote job. So, my options were sit around with my thumb up my butt or actually start getting something done. And I decided to start doing the YouTube thing. And now we're at the point where the channel is monetized, sort of. There's you get monetized, but then there's a long building process to build your channel up to the point where that monetization actually matters. And until I get to the point where I'm making several $1,000s a month, monetization is still only an ethereal concept, basically. Because until we get to the point where this thing is actually able to, pay the bills and allow us to move around, it's still something I'm doing mostly pro bono. So it feels good to build something that's yours. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like bitter about it or anything. It's just I'm kind of you
Keep left.
you can see a future for yourself and you'd like to get to that future, and it takes a lot longer to get there than you wish that it would. I would love it if I could have 100,000 subscribers tomorrow, but it just doesn't work that way. It's a long, slow grind, especially in the gaming sphere. If I was the kind of person that was able to do that really crazy sensationalist content, if I had no moral fiber and I was just trying to, do whatever I had to do to get views, then obviously I could probably grow a lot quicker. But I'm not that kind of a person, I don't want to create that kind of a content. I don't want to. There's too much fake stuff on the internet, and you watch this stuff and it's entertaining for a moment, and I guess that's kind of the point. But I would much rather set myself up in such a way that allows me to, be genuine, be who I am, and hopefully enough people respect and enjoy that enough that they A, watch enough to get me some ad revenue, or B, decide to join the channel or send a super thanks or whatever else it is to show their appreciation. And there's going to be a percentage of the population that enjoys that kind of a thing. There's going to be a percentage of the population that doesn't care, and then there's going to be another percentage of the population that hates my guts because they just don't like the way I am. And that's just what you kind of have to accept as living in the world. It's weird that we've entered this time where everybody feels like everybody has to like them, and it's like it's never been that way. It's never ever been that way. And I think because of the way that we're built as human beings, we've had for the longest time, we've had these tribes where we had to get people to like us so that we could be successful. But now we have this internet thing that makes it so that you can have a tribe, and a basically unlimited tribe, a tribe that's unlimited in size is what I'm trying to get to. And you get to the point where, especially if you're trying to do content creation like this, you have this intrinsic biological need for everybody to like you. And it's very difficult to step back and say, you know what, it's okay if people don't like me. It's okay. It's very difficult to do that. Now, some people are able to do it easier than others. Me personally, I've always, even before internet was as big as it is now, I was always the kind of person where I didn't want people bothering me, but I didn't particularly care what anybody thought of me. You can't live your life adjusting yourself to the expectations of others. You're going to make yourself miserable trying to do that. The best thing you can do for yourself is just be who you are, and then surround yourself with people who like that kind of a thing. Otherwise, you're constantly twisting and morphing yourself to try to gain the approval of others, and it's just exhausting. It's exhausting. Now, obviously, if the world has shown us that people who behave in that particular manner, the twisting and bending themselves to the, to what other people want to see, obviously those people are going to make, those people are going to be more successful from a material and monetary standpoint, because, that's just the way it works. I'm not trying to claim that if you be yourself, you'll be more successful. And realistically, you probably won't. You're definitely going to be limiting your market if you behave in a way where you're just being you. So understand that when you decide to go that route. What I'm trying to get to is that it's much less stressful if you just be yourself, because then you don't have to remember what the thing is you're supposed to be doing right now is. You just, be you. And then you can attract people who like that kind of a thing, and then it's much easier to just do what you do because you're doing what you do, not what this persona is that you've created. We're already down to about less than a half an hour of in-game time. We're actually almost at half an hour of recording time, so hopefully we can get this load there and dropped off very quickly and then be done with this episode, so that's cool. Should be, especially if it's right off the freeway, we should see some delivery rings here pretty shortly. I am aware that the speed limit has dropped to 55, but we're going to hold here at 60 just because hopefully these cars get in front of me and drive faster and don't slow me down. But the speed limit is 55, so that's fine. We're exiting the freeway anyways. Excellent. That's exactly what we needed to happen.
Exit right.
Okay. So we can get off the freeway here and then go deliver our load. Excellent.
Turn right.
Oh, I like it when we get a green light. Looks like the delivery rings are over there on the left, so that's good. Really nice if this light would change. Well, with the left turn there, it means it should be changing pretty soon. It usually goes left turn and straight, left turn and straight. All right, out of our way, please. We have a delivery to make. Yeah, I really need to charge my controller. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. It's struggling to maintain proper connection.
You have arrived at your destination.
Okay, and so where is our drop-off point? The map says... Oh, you know what? I think this is one of those ones where we have to pull forward over here. And then back it in. Going to assume. I've made deliveries at this kind of a dealership before. Oh. Alright, well, let's double check and make sure. I'm pretty sure it's right here. Oh, okay. It's a little bit further to the right than I remember. There we go. Alright, so anyways, hopefully you guys had lots of fun. Be sure to click that like button so the YouTube algorithm knows that you did and sends the video out to as many people as possible. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, so that when the next video comes out, it will show up in your video feed and you'll be able to watch it as soon as it becomes available. Channel members do get early access to all of my content, so be sure to click that join button, check out the list of options that are available there, and decide if any of those are right for you. Your support is greatly appreciated and a critical component to making this the full-time gig I've been talking about. So again, thank you very much for your time. Hope you guys have been having lots of fun, and I'll see you for the next one.